Hi everyone, and welcome to How Our Garden Grows. In this video, I'm going to show you how to transplant. It is a beautiful spring day and I'm finally ready to transplant some vegetables into some pots here. And it's a beautiful March day, as you can see. It is great. I always like to show and brag when we have these days and it's not completely freezing outside. So what I have several different things prepared here. I have two pots, so I'm going to show you how to pot up one of them. They're about 2 to 3 gallon containers. I think these are probably closer to 2 or 2.5. And I've got some fertilizer. I'll talk about that a little bit in this video. I haven't really done a whole lot of videos on fertilizing, but I'm really going to make an emphasis this year for that. But for these purposes, I'm just going to show you how easy it is to transplant. So these are containers of potting mix that I actually used last year. It was a combination of that stuff that I made myself, and again I'll make some more videos on that, but I'm just going to use a standard potting mix to sort of refresh the soil. And what I mean by refresh is a lot of times I'll reuse some of the soil from last year by using 50% of what I used last year and then just mixing in newer soil, because a lot of times this gets compact, a lot of the nutrients kind of get worn out a bit, and you need to therefore work through and make sure that you refresh your soil. So as you noticed, I'm throwing out some of these wood chips. They're not your best friend. This is a cheaper potting mix, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend these. This was just on sale. It was pretty cheap, so I picked it up and I want to be able to use it. So I'm going through you want a nice fluffy medium, so you can use anything that says potting mix on. Do not use anything that says topsoil, garden soil. That's not going to be the correct medium. That, while it's fine in your garden, it won't be the most effective of what you need when you're trying to grow in containers. So this is specifically about container gardening in this particular episode. The transplanting methods remain the same, but we're specifically talking about gardening in containers. So what I'm gonna do is I've got something called plant tone. And a little bit about plant tone. Well, what does that mean? I honestly don't really know. It says all-purpose plant food on the bottom for organic gardening, bigger growth, blooms, blah, blah, blah. What you are actually looking for is you are looking for 3 numbers, 533. So this is perfect for me to get going. It's higher in nitrogen, which is the first number. It's got the 3% phosphorus and 3% potassium. So what you really want to do is make sure that these numbers are around either a 555 or a 10 is perfect. Anything a little higher than that is going overboard. You don't need to really worry about all of the special labeling that they do on these products. One thing that I would recommend is that you don't overpay for some of these. I think this one I got on discount. The reason why I bought it says organic on it, and I like to start with organic and then kind of work my way through the season. But I've got an 8-pound bag. I think I spent $5, which is exactly where you want to be. You don't want to pay too much over $1 per pound, in my opinion. It's just not worth it. It doesn't matter what the labeling is. The plants are not going to know the big difference. All right, so let's get into grabbing the fertilizer. I'm going to take a nice generous handful in my new mix here, and I might even actually do another half a handful here, and I'm just going to really work that in. Right, I want to make sure we've got a nice slow release. Now granulars like these are what we call a slow release fertilizer. That means it's not actively ready for the plant to take up right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to transplant these, but throughout the next couple of months, it's going to release this granular fertilizer, a slow amount of nutrients to the plant. So that's perfect. So what I'm gonna do now is, this is a pretty, you know, it's not the most moist, but it's moist enough. You don't want a mix that is too dry. What I'm doing is I'm mixing in, we just got snow throughout the last week, so this is really soaked in. So you want a nice kind of firm base, and I can really press in this new hole here. So this is perfect. This is going to be a nice medium. If you're peat moss airplane, so you don't want to be planting in a real dry mixture that just isn't going to hold well together in. So you're going to set yourself up for success by adding just a little bit of water, mixing it around, kind of like so. So I can add a little bit of water in here, as you see, kind of mix it around and moisten it up a bit. All right, so let's get to transplanting. So I've got my transplant here. I've got it nicely labeled, 1227. So this little guy is super desperate to get into the ground, but look at that nice thick stem. It's been under grow lights, been hardened off, and my goal is to get some really nice broccoli in early spring. So I'm gonna go ahead and work this out, and I'm doing this one-handed. Please do it two-handed. And I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out. Look at how nice that root system is. You can see it's starting to coil around the bottom. So this is what's really important. You wanna kind of break up. Doing this one-handed is great with the camera. I really need a tripod. And so I'm just gonna break it up. You're not going to disturb the plant. You know, some roots are of course gonna die off, but you wanna make sure that you get the root system, at least on the bottom, so a little bit broken up. So just kind of like that works. Gonna move that out of the way. And I need a little deeper hole. So I underestimated. And we're gonna get that in just like that. And then we're just gonna fill soil around. You can add additional soil if need be, which I'll probably need to do. Actually, that looks pretty good. And then you'll definitely want to water this in. Let me show you how we handle a water-soluble fertilizer. All right, so I have my water-soluble fertilizer that we're gonna hit this with, and this is fish fertilizer here. And what you can do with this, what's great about fish fertilizer is it's what's called water-soluble fertilizer. And so this fertilizer will be readily available to the plant immediately. So because I just transplanted this, what I want to do is I want to hit that with that. So what I have here is my watering container here, and it's got some fish emulsion spread in it. Just follow the instructions, and I'm just going to water it in. And what this is going to do, it's going to provide nutrients that are readily available to the plant immediately, and the root system is going to be able to take that up and then let this plant take off in the next few days that it's warm. So that's pretty much it for transplanting. You just go ahead and keep this watered and enjoy the rest of the season. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe and check out our other YouTube videos.